Hey everyone, it's Tyler Strike from Universal Rackets, and in this video we're going to give you a couple tips and things that you should focus on when you are playing a pickleball tournament for the first time. Now, if you have never played a pickleball tournament before, it's different. Regardless of how many matches you have played, a tournament is totally different. There's nerves. People are super competitive. There are many people watching, probably. If you use these tips and strategies, it's going to make your tournament experience much easier. I wish I knew these tips before I played my first tournament. I would have won so many more points and I would have had more fun because I wouldn't be thinking about so many things. The first thing, okay, you need to keep it simple for tournaments. The more options you have, the more things you have to think about, the more nerves you get, the more you shut down. There's a reason why many players say, oh, I can drill so good, but then when it's competitive play, I lose. Or there's many players that I play with that, yeah, they're so good, but in tournaments, they absolutely suck. And the reason why is because they're thinking about so many different things. There's nerves involved. So the first tip that I want you to do is when you're up at the kitchen, many players second guess themselves when there's nerves. Many players try to go for too much, fight or flight, when it's not the right time. I want you to think, to simplify it and give you the best chance to win at these tournaments, I want you to think when the ball is high, attack, when the ball is low, defend or block. Once again, the only time that you are going to go for a high ball or an attackable ball is when the ball is high. Any other time when you are on the court, when you're playing a tournament match, what are you going to do? You are going to block or defend. So the first thing is, again, only attack when the ball is high. Once again, only attack when the ball is high. Another thing that you can do, and if you're a little bit more advanced or you've played a couple tournaments before, I like to tell myself I'm going to get 3 or 4 dinks back before going for a shot. What that means is when you get a little bit more advanced, you try to go for a speed up. You try to do too much. I try to do too much all the time because I come from a tennis background and I think I can hit the ball hard every single time and they block it back. So I like to tell myself personally, and this is huge for me, I'm going to get 3 or 4 dinks back regardless of where the ball is before I go for an offensive shot. I'm going to just get 3 or 4 balls back. The next thing that I want you to do, and this is for your serve, okay? I want you to get your serves into the middle of the court. When you're playing competitive pickleball, it is much easier to play and it's way easier to have less nerves when you are ahead in the match. It's much easier to play when you're up 6-0 and feel good about your shots rather than when you're down 0-6. It's much easier to hit a drive or a drop when you're up 6-0 without the nerves than when it is 0-6. So the only way to win points on your serve is to actually give yourself a chance to win. There are too many players, and what they do wrong is they try to hit a super hard aggressive serve to automatically win the point, and they end up missing it long or the ball going out. In pickleball, unless the ball hits the net and go over, there is no redos. You automatically lose the point. If I hit this serve out, I lost the point no matter what happened. If I hit this serve in, I still have a chance to win the point. My opponent still has to get the ball back. Many things can happen. So I want you to always get your serve in for the tournament. A little bit of depth and consistency is way more effective than power. Okay, when you're up 8-0 or 9-0 and you're feeling good, then you can go for your serve. But if you're just starting out the match, just get the serve in. The next thing you're going to do, after you get your serves in, you are going to get your third shot in. You are going to make it a priority to get your third shot in. And what I mean by that is too many players, they end up missing their third shots. And why do they end up missing their third shots? Because they try to hit the perfect drive, because they try to hit the perfect drop. It's the same type of method and knowledge as the serve. If you hit your serve out at first, the point's automatically over. If you hit your drop into the net, if you hit your drive long, the point is automatically over. Too many players, they're afraid for their opponent to smash the ball at them while they're up at the kitchen that they end up trying to perfect their shots and they end up missing their drives or their drops. I would rather have you hit a drive or a drop that is this high rather than a drop that is in the net. Because think about it for yourself. How many times have you had a super high ball up here that you ended up missing? Okay, if you hit your drop into the net, you're automatically going to lose the point. If you hit your drop a little bit high, your opponent still has to block it back. And realize it's a tournament. So as many nerves as you have, your opponent has as well. The next thing is back here, when you're hitting a drive, you want to make sure, again, you hit your drive in, you don't miss your drives out, because you will automatically lose the point. The next thing that I want you to do for these matches when you're first playing a tournament is aim for the middle. This will help you get the ball in as well, but down the middle solves the riddle. Like I said before, and this is repetitive, but you, as nervous as you are, your opponents are just as nervous. There's a lot of indecisiveness. There's a lot, if you're playing a couple and you hit a ball down the middle and the couple goes, wait, you were supposed to get it. No, you were supposed to get it. And they look at each other, they can banter with each other, they can get in their heads, they can get mad at each other. Trust me, I play with the pickle yogi. I've experienced that firsthand. However, if you go down the middle, it's a great target, it causes miscommunication, and it throws your opponents off guard. So again, make sure when the ball's super high, you're going to go for it. When the ball is low, you're going to block or defend. When you are serving, you are going to get your serve in. That's the #1 priority. Instead of going for super power, then I like to do personally, again, I like to get 3 or 4 balls back before going for my next shot. And lastly, I am going to what? I am going to make sure that I aim for the middle of the court, not to the sides. The last thing that I like to do personally is I like to use every single tournament as a type of learning experience. And what I mean by that is a lot of players, when they play tournaments, they get super upset, they get mad, oh, I didn't win first place. Guys, let's listen. If you aren't playing in the PPA Tour and you're not playing a gold medal match for men's or women's or mixed pro, winning tons of money, your tournament doesn't matter. You know how you get better in tournaments? You use tournaments as a learning experience. Once again, if you want to get better at tournaments, you have to use every single one of your tournaments as a learning experience. If you win a 4-5 tournament, or if you lose a 4-5 tournament, the #1 thing, other than a shiny $20 or $15 medal, is what are you doing? You are learning. So if you can use your tournament matches to a greater good and gain experience, try to work on different shots, try to understand when you get nervous, how it feels in pickleball tournaments, your positive tendencies and your negative tendencies, it's going to help you so much. So I encourage every single one of you, don't get super upset if you are playing a tournament and you're not winning that $20 gold medal. Use it as learning experience, and that's how you get the best. And the last thing I want you to do is just make sure that you have fun. Once again, when you play tournaments, I feel like when I play tournaments, when I kind of stop playing tournaments, is you go around, everyone's so mean, everyone's scowling, everyone's super tense because there's all these nerves, everyone wants to win, everything like that. Just chill and have fun. You're going to play so much better pickleball if you have fun and you have a good time, rather than if you are super nervous, super intense, and super upset. I used to do this in tennis. I haven't really used it in pickleball, but the one thing that I do for myself is I always smile. I always smile every single time I'm on court. If I'm missing, if I'm making it, if I'm hitting it out, if I'm getting my butt kicked, I always try to smile every single time. If you smile, you can't be negative all the time. I'm telling you guys, it helps a ton, and it helps me. And when your opponents are beating you and they see you smiling and having fun, you could gain an upper edge on them as well, because they're gonna be like, why are they having so much fun? They're having a good time. So again, I encourage every single one of you to use these tips, use the tournament as a learning experience to get you better as a whole, as a pickleball player, and smile and have fun. And you're gonna be so much better off when you play pickleball tournaments. I wish I knew this stuff before I played my first competitive tournaments. I played tennis tournaments before pickleball tournaments. I use the knowledge that I've used from my tennis tournaments in my pickleball tournaments. However, if you're starting out with pickleball tournaments, enjoy the process, have fun, and the more you play, the better you're going to get. A player that plays 15, 20, 30 tournaments is going to be way better and more experienced than a player who has just played one tournament. Think, it's like you're a seasoned vet. You know when you get into pressure situations what to do. You know how it feels. You know how to deal with those types of nerves. So make sure to do that. Have a good one. Happy hitting. If you guys want anything Selkirk, make sure to use our code INF-Universal. Once again, INF, I is in igloo, N is in Nancy, F is in Frank, -Universal. We'll put the link in the description. You can get a gift card with your purchase. Use our amazing promo code. You could get a Selkirk bag. Best type of balls, Selkirk Pro S1 pickleballs. They don't break, they don't crack, they don't warp, they just die down a little bit, but you can use them forever. Make sure to get an amazing paddle hat, whatever you want, use our code INF-Universal, and I will see you guys next time on court. If you guys have any better tournaments, advice, anything that you want to share, please let us know in the comments below. Have a good one, and happy hitting.